Ladies and gents, welcome to Dual Universe. If you're watching this video, the chances are you're fairly new to the game and you're wondering, how the hell do I mine? How can I get the resources that I need to craft the things, the good things? Right, so I'm going to make this as quick as possible. Step 1. Ideally, you need to get your talents sorted. You need to get these skills so it'll make it much easier for you to mine. And those are in the mining and inventory skills. Press F2, bring up this menu, click on mining and inventory, and funnily enough, miner, and you would like, first off, you want scanner upgrades, ideally to 2 or 3. Ideally 3, 2, it won't take long to train that. And then you want detector upgrades to at least 2. If you can get 3, that makes it easier again, but 2 is great. Mining range, secondary consideration. If you want to get that, it would help. And that's all you need to start mining. You don't have to have them, but it will make mining much easier and much less frustrating. So, ways to mine. First one, you can hand collect from minerals like this, which you will find scattered about planets. You select the tool, which is number 1, which is the harvest tool. You press and hold, it will harvest. On the surface of planets, you will only, certainly the starter planets, you will only find tier 1 and tier 2 ores. This is a reasonable way to gather, but it's not going to get you the big cheddar that you need. Big cheddar. Okay, so moving on. If you want to find, so looking at when you're starting out in the game, tier 1 and possibly tier 2 ores. Tier 1 ores are near the surface, tier 2 are a bit further down, and so on and so on. So, what you need to do is take the scanner that you have now trained in and select it. You'll see a pulse goes out when I select it and a graph turns up. Pulse and a graph. Okay, so on this graph there are dots here. This is basically how close I am to the ore veins that I want to mine. Now, little trick, if you press tab, get your mouse cursor and click on the scanner, it brings up this menu. Now the planet that I'm on only has tier 1 and tier 2. For the purposes of this introduction, I'm just going to go for tier 1. You can deselect these if you like. You can be very specific about which tier 1 ore you want to go for, but for now I'm going to have all of them, make it easy. Okay, so press tab, we're back down. The way that the scanner works is you run, and you run effectively. What you want to do is see these dots get closer and closer to the bottom. Chances are they'll only get to about 100, maybe 150, but you want to get them as close to there as possible. So let's go. If you change direction, if you find that you're going away from an ore, right, so the blue one is getting closer towards us. I think that's bauxite. No, now we're getting further away. Getting closer, so you just have to keep changing your direction, trying to get as close as you can to the good stuff. Right, that's flatlining again. If we come this way, no, it's getting further away, so if we go back on ourselves, just get it as close as you can to you. Okay, so it looks like that's actually quite far. That's actually quite we're quite far away at 200 meters. So the next step is to keep your scanner and you go down. Right? So you're digging down to find the ore vein now. So let's go. So you can see now we are slowly, it's taking some time, digging straight down. We're now getting sub 100 meters and we're getting close to the ore vein. If we want to check what it is. Hematite, which makes iron. So keep mining down. If you find that your scanner's not updating like that pulse, then do what I'm doing here, which is keep digging down to a depth and then push forward, and the scanner activates as you fall. You probably noticed now that we're actually getting to the point where the blue line is tailoring off, so it's actually getting to horizontal. When you've hit that, it means the direction you're traveling in, you're not getting any further away. So generally what I tend to do at that point, let's just double check. So we're about 60 meters away. Okay, so it's flatlined on us. So here's the trick. Right, so you're probably at about the right depth, more or less. So what you need to do now is continue to use the scanner, and then what I do is use the mini map here on the top, and I do a shaft going off to the north, south, east, and west to see which direction I'm going in. Sometimes you're lucky, get it first time. If you put points into mining range as well, I'm going to actually make this a big circle because I can do this now. If you put points into mining range as well, that means that you can stay in one place and just keep mining like this. Big tunnel. Headed north. And then when you get to a certain point, just run through. The scanner will update. It shows we're getting further away, if you can see here. So we go back to where we were. I can find my bearings. There we go. Gosh. Go back to where we were, and now I'm going to head south. So we're getting closer. We're very close now. Very close. Okay, so I think we're at the point now where we probably can't get much closer to the vein of ore. So at this point, what we do is we switch to our detector, and this is a scanning tool, and this will scan. And we're very, very fortunate, but you can see here this waveform. This basically tells us that we are pointing in the right direction for the ore vein. So most of the time you'll start and you won't have it, and you'll need to look around to try and find the right direction. We're very fortunate. We were. There you go. It's that direction. Now if you need to get an idea of whether you're going up or down, if you press L, it brings on your light, but it also brings on this angle tool as well. So I tend to work with the light off because it's too bright. So using now the detector, you keep going and you just follow the waveform. And there we go. We have the ore, and this is hematite. So what I'll tend to do is once I get to the ore, is just make a working room around it. It's actually quite important because I'm going to swap to the mining tool now, because the mining tool works faster and does bigger areas. The mining tool is what we're actually going to need to use to dig this stuff out. If you're on a mining trip, if you're a little bit more advanced and you're on a mining trip and you have a ship with a container on it, something handy that you can do as a quick tip, before you leave, right click on the container and choose the option that says declare as linked. Then when you press I here, you can set the linked container as the default, and you can see that's the one at my base. And now whenever I mine the ore, it goes straight to my container at the surface, and I don't need to carry it back up with me, which means I can use a lot more, I can mine a lot more because it'll go straight into the container rather than my inventory. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the basic introduction to mining. I hope you found it useful. Any questions, leave a comment below and I'll come back to you. Thanks very much. Bye.